Well, let him sit here. That's...
No, Douglas, you sit there because when I talk to him,
okay.
if any questions arise, you can interrupt.
Okay.
Please, in fact, I hope you do.
Okay.
He's an atomic scientist. He was. He's retired now.
Congratulations.
I am nobody now.
And that's why
even better.
That's why he's so happy. Go
You
ahead.
said about enlightenment.
Yes.
Is acceptance that I am not a doer. Everything,
But more important,
everything happens according to the will of God.
enlightenment has never ever been a certified event. Most important, enlightenment has never, but everybody talks of enlightenment as if it is a certified event. That's why I make it perfectly clear. When you talk about enlightenment, be sure that there is no such thing as a certified enlightenment. It can only be a personal concept. Therefore, if I say I am enlightened according to my concept. But it may be that you don't accept my concept. And that is what happened. Your question will be, you say you are enlightened. Do you still suffer pain in the moment? Yes. Do you still make mistakes for which the society punishes you? Yes. Do you have any special powers to know whatever goes on anywhere in the world? No. Do you have any special powers of healing? No. Then how can you be enlightened? Isn't that right? How can you be enlightened? Because according to the certified event, you can't be enlightened. Yeah, go on. Yeah. Please.
So this is a concept.
Yeah, it is
Enlightenment is a concept.
Yes.
And it is a concept which varies from person to person.
Yes.
So there is nothing like an absolute enlightenment.
There is no enlightenment is not a certified event.
Okay. So this concept you gave is one concept you have of enlightenment.
And
that is, today just now you elaborated.
My only concept.
That is the only concept?
I have. Oh, absolutely.
There is no other concept?
Enlightenment for me means everything in the world is happening according to God's will, cosmic law, through which person, through which body, mind the happening happens, which the society calls your action, my action, his action or her action, is again according to God's will, cosmic law. How each happening affects whom, better or worse, is again according to God's will, cosmic law. The human being is incapable of doing any deed. Total acceptance of this means enlightenment. And what has enlightenment?
So the built-in in this definition or concept of enlightenment is what personally I believe to be God, and I say I have a concept of God. For this definition to work, there should be some concept of God, or cosmic law.
Indeed.
And I have to attribute to this entity
yes.
Human concept of will.
Yes.
Which is again my own creation.
Yes. On that, you are entitled to ask me. I say according to God's will or cosmic law. What is my concept of God? Part of that question is that.
And does
what is my, I said everything happens according to God's will, cosmic law. What is God's will and what is the cosmic law? Based on which the entire world, my happiness depends. According to me, if the atheist has the right to come and tell me, Ramesh, I don't believe in God. An atheist says then, Ramesh, I don't believe in God. What do you think my reaction will be?
That depends on what one means by God.
Therefore,
everybody has a different way of
the
imagination of God.
Therefore, the atheist tells me I don't believe in God. You know what I'll tell him? I entirely agree with you. I agree with you that God cannot exist as one all-powerful, all-knowing entity as compared to a helpless, birthless entity like you and me. That is what the atheist says. I agree with him. I agree with him that God cannot be an all-powerful, all-knowing entity. Therefore, for me, God is the source. The source, the only reality, the only unmanifest oneness, the only unmanifest singularity, which was forced to become the manifest duality, the unmanifest singularity. The basis of the manifestation is duality, beginning with male and female, and duality of every conceivable kind. Wealth and poverty, saint and psychopath, health and disease, good and evil, every conceivable kind. Therefore, in life, you cannot expect perfection. You cannot expect truth. You cannot expect happiness in life. So, your question then would be,
no, I want to specifically understand what you mean by one statement you said he is not all powerful or
entity. No. He is all powerful, yes, but not an entity.
Entity, not a thing.
Is not a singular
thing.
A singular, all-powerful singularity. We are helpless entity. God is an all-powerful entity. That is what the concept of God is. We are all helpless entities. God is the one all-powerful entity.
He is also an entity.
That is the concept of God which everybody has. And with that I agree with the atheist. I don't believe in God.
When you say source, he is the source.
I'll tell you. Therefore, God, I mean as the source, and the source is impersonal consciousness or impersonal energy. Impersonal energy, that is the answer to the question. Why should God have created manifestation at all? Why should there be a manifestation at all? So that people should be unhappy? The answer is, God did not create the manifestation. God was forced to create a manifestation. God as impersonal energy. God as the source, unmanifest source, potential throbbing energy, potential energy. And the potential energy, by its very nature of potentiality, was forced to activate itself sometime, otherwise it would have been dead matter. Therefore, potential energy as the source was forced to activate itself sometime. The Big Bang, fantastic energy, and the entire manifestation, the physicist tells me the entire manifestation is a block. Everything is predetermined. Therefore, the unmanifest oneness as potential energy had to activate itself into manifestation of duality. And when that one Big Bang, the enormous energy, at some time or the other, millions of years later, Satya Yuga, this Yuga, Kali Yuga, but at the end of that, whatever is left will go back into the potential until another Big Bang happens.
So this is again a concept. This is also a concept.
It is a concept, make no mistake.
So I want to know,
yes.
This manifestation taking place, actualization, from potential to actual.
Yes.
Is this a real or is it human concept, human imagination, human illusion?
It can only be an appearance. It can only be an appearance.
Only an appearance.
The only reality is the unmanifest reality. Everything else has to be an appearance. And
Therefore fictitious.
Huh?
Therefore fictitious.
Therefore, not real. Appearance is an appearance. Now, we say fictitious, what I am saying is, I'm gone into it. What do I mean by appearance? I mean by appearance not a hallucination. And your fiction can be hallucination or appearance. Therefore, I wouldn't use the word fictitious, I would say it's an appearance. An appearance is an appearance which can be seen, it's not a hallucination. The original...
It is not a hallucination
when
in
you
the sense, I am just getting it clear. It is not a hallucination in the sense it is not purely a construct of the mind. But when you say it is an appearance,
it's
not a hallucination, it is subject to sense perception.
Correct.
That's the only difference.
Quite right.
And but these sense perceptions
Yeah.
are again
Yeah.
interpreted by human beings
Yeah.
by their own
In the mind. In the mind.
So finally it boils down to
Hmm?
finally it boils down to
Yeah.
interpretation by the mind and the brain.
Absolutely.
So is there a difference between hallucination and appearance?
Hallucination doesn't exist. Appearance exists. If you go in the sun and your shadow, you say shadow is a hallucination? You can see it. You can move it and the shadow moves.
Okay, let's look at this shadow.
Yeah.
I see a shadow of a body. That sense eyes have taken that impression of light and lack of light and constructed a concept of shadow.
Quite
Now
right.
the question is
Yeah.
whether this concept of differences in light interpretation, is it real or imagination?
Only reality is the source.
Okay. So in what I am trying to drive at Ramesh Mao is that both are imaginations.
Appearances.
Appearances,
Yes.
sense appearances and mental hallucinations or illusions, whatever you might
Yes.
call, they appear to be
Yeah.
finally the constructs of the mind
Yeah.
and the brain.
Yes.
Therefore it is fictitious, not real. This is what I am trying to understand.
I'm still saying that the real has an appearance. The real has a shadow. So the unmanifest real is a manifestation, appearance as manifestation. You stand before a mirror, there is an appearance.
Now let me explain my problem.
Yes.
To me, both of these things appear to be my construct of my mind,
Yes.
thought,
Yes.
concept. The appearance, the interpretation of sense impressions
It's
into something.
It's a
which is-
projection of what
the
you
mind.
are saying is a projection of the mind. Agreed.
Okay. Both are projections. of the mind.
Agreed.
Now I am worried about the other aspect of this so-called concept of unmanifest reality.
Yes.
Could also be a construct of the mind.
It is a construct of the mind. It is a construct of the mind. Agreed.
The consciousness, the Atman,
Everything
Brahman,
is a...
everything is-
Yeah. Therefore,
So there is nothing which.
so what is the truth?
My problem is.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
What is your problem is, what the bloody hell is the truth?
Yes.
Right?
I want to use that word.
I'm putting it blankly. And my answer is, the only bloody truth in this world is that never has been a creation. Never has been a creation. Never has been a dissolution. Never has been a creation. When you are in deep sleep, was there ever a creation? When does a creation arise? When you wake up and there is a mind. Then whatever creation you say is a creation of the mind. Therefore, for me, Ramana Maharshi is the greatest sage in living history. So when he said those words, whatever needs to be said, Ramana Maharshi, whatever needs to be said has been said in one verse in Adi Shankara's Viveka Chudamani, verse number 170. Wow! Well, what more could he have said? Whatever needs to be said has been said in verse 170 in Viveka Chudamani, done by Adi Shankara. So I got that verse 170, and it's interesting. In case anybody is interested, I'll read out the original. The original verse number 170 in Viveka Chudamani is Swapne Arthashunye Srujati Svashaktya Bhokradi Vishvam Mana Eva Sarvam. In your
That's what I was
dream.
saying.
Yes. In dream, whatever you see as a dream with which you have no connection, Arthashunye, Sriji Svashaktya, is a projection of the mind. In that, whoever enjoy or enjoyment, anything that you see in your dream state, is only a projection of the mind, and you have no connection with what is seen as an enjoyment or enjoyer or suffering, pleasure or pain. Tathaiva, similarly, Jagratyapi, no Visheshas. Therefore, what you see in your waking state as the world, there is no difference. It is the same mind which has projected this
Dream world.
manifestation in this waking dream. No difference. Translation of it is, in the dream state, even though there is no contact with the outside world, the mind alone projects the entire dream universe of enjoyer, enjoyment, and the object of enjoyment. Similarly, the waking state is no different. All this world of pluralistic phenomena is but a projection of the mind. There never really has ever been a creation. Everything is a projection of the mind.
There is nothing other than projection of mind.
That is the point. Therefore, just as I agree with the atheists to say that there is no God, I agree with whatever you say. Just as I agree with the atheist who says there is no God, I agree with the scientist with what he says. That is all the projection of the mind.
But I want to come to another aspect of this.
Go ahead.
With something sometime long back.
Go ahead.
You were saying that the only reality is the impersonal sense of being present.
Or energy. Whatever, impersonal consciousness.
Of being present. That I am.
Yes.
My question was, is that also a construct of mind?
It is. The consciousness, impersonal consciousness.
Even what Ramesh Balsekar calls I, that also is
that
is also a construct of mind.
Yes, it is. Who is concerned with I? Who is concerned with the soul? Who wants to know whether there is a soul? Who wants to know what is the soul? The mind. If there was no entity asking this question, an entity with intelligence, who would want to know anything?
Irrespective of the presence or absence of this entity wanting to know the truth, does the truth exist or not?
For whom?
For whom?
For whom?
By itself.
No, for whom?
For itself.
For whom does it exist or not? If there is no one, for whom can the truth exist? Who the hell will be interested in knowing if there is any truth?
By itself cannot it exist?
Huh?
By itself it cannot exist? By itself, for itself? Because there is no other.
So, who will want to know? Only when you are there.
If I am not there, is it right to say there is no reality or truth?
Yes. If you are not there, as it happens at least once in 24 hours, when you are in deep sleep, is there any creation? When you are in deep sleep every 24 hours, is there any creation? More important, is there anyone to worry about creation being true or not?
But in that state, it would be wrong to say that a person sleeping does not exist. Consciousness exists, not existing.
In deep sleep,
Just
it
because
doesn't.
there is no sensation, there is no one to realize. Thus the absence of that can be guaranteed.
Who will want to know?
Irrespective of who I am asking. The question is, irrespective of the subject or object, can subject not exist?
Subject-object relation.
Suppose there is no object, only by subject. Cannot subject by itself really exist?
Who is going to challenge me whatever I say?
I am only inquiring, Ramesh. I am not question of challenge.
The whole point.
I want to really know.
No, yes, I know. The whole point is, in this, the whole point is, in deep sleep, I was not concerned with my happiness.
Deep sleep is
Therefore,
a deep
when I'm alive and I'm living my daily living, I'm concerned with my happiness in daily living. But when I'm dead, when the body, mind, organism is dead, what happens to Ramesh or Douglas or whoever? That is important. And my answer is, after the body is dead, Ramesh will be in precisely the same state he is every day when he is in deep sleep, not concerned with anything. Therefore, what will happen to Douglas or Ramesh? First of all, what is Douglas or Ramesh? Each is fundamentally two perspectives. What is any individual entity? Two perspectives. One perspective, he can only be a three-dimensional object. Only one three-dimensional object. So there is a body, mind, organism as a three-dimensional object is part of the manifestation. Therefore, who can Douglas or Ramesh be? Only be something connected, not thing, but connected with the source. Therefore, each human entity as a separate entity is nothing but one three-dimensional object. The other perspective, the source, impersonal consciousness, identified with each body, mind, organism as a separate entity with a sense of personal doership, as identified consciousness. Therefore, every human being as a separate entity with doership, as the ego, is identified consciousness. When the body is dead, that particular entity is no longer required for daily living to happen. For that entity, no more interhuman relationship. The ego is no longer necessary, and the identified consciousness again becomes impersonal consciousness. Therefore, I honestly don't have to worry about what happens to Ramesh. Ramesh again becomes the source of God. Therefore, I am only concerned with my happiness in this life. What happens when I am dead? Who cares? The identified consciousness again becomes impersonal consciousness. And the real part of it, the real sensible part of it, Douglas is, two rivers join the ocean. Two egos, have become the impersonal consciousness. Two rivers have joined the ocean. then no more rivers, only the ocean. And the ocean doesn't care a damn whether one river was the purest Ganga or the most impure, horrible thing. Therefore, no ego need worry about whether he was a good person or a bad person. Because no one can be a good person or a bad person. In both cases, there is a source functioning through one body-mind organism, so programmed that only bad things will happen, and this has been known as a psychopath. Or the same source functioning through this body, known as a sage, everybody will know, because that body-mind organism has been programmed, so programmed, genes and conditions, that only good deeds will happen. No individual doer of any deed. So no one need worry about dying a bad man or a good man.
You mentioned about the deep sleep state.
Yeah.
And that is a state of total ignorance.
That's a state of
That is a state of total ignorance.
total
Ignorance.
that
Or
is,
bliss.
no, wait a
That
minute.
is according to.
No, that is a state.
I mean, it has been
I'm
so
making it,
told.
but that
by
is a state in which the
I can
concept.
quote some.
That is a state in which the question of ignorance and knowledge simply does not arise.
There is nothing. There is nothing.
Therefore, the question of ignorance or simply cannot arise. And that
Nor is it right to say that is a state of peace. Because the concept of peace also is absent.
yes, peace for this reason, that which existed was disturbed when you wake up. That which existed was disturbed when you wake up. So what was it that existed which is shattered when you wake up? Peace of mind. It's a concept again.
It's our concept again.
It's a concept. Therefore,
But that also brings me to the same question. You said, I don't care what happens to me after death and all that, and what matters to me is my happiness now.
That-
Right? So I am asking
Hmm.
whether this concept of happiness now
Yeah.
is again also a construct of my mind.
it is.
And
And
so,
so
there is
much-
nothing great about
No,
being happy in this state, in imaginary state.
Quite right. Therefore, don't bother about your happiness.
So the question again
Yeah.
is what these are both constructs of mind, happiness as well as pleasure. Pleasure at least has a basis on senses, whereas happiness, which is, you can say, is not independent of the sense perceptions, is again a mental construct.
Absolutely, no question
so
about
why
it.
is one superior to the other, preferred to the other?
I
Why
should-
should
on the-
happiness be considered superior
I-
to pleasure?
Yes, I would also agree. Quite right.
Because that seemed to be the basis of your argument this morning.
For someone who seeks happiness, the most important conclusion here.
I would say both are equally in constructs of mind, whether you are reveling in have pleasure or so-called happiness, you are actually living in an imaginary state of mind.
So, is Durganandjj not concerned with his happiness in this life?
I am worried about this point. Why should I be concerned about something
Don't be
that is a
concerned.
construct of the mind?
Don't be concerned. Who prevents you from not being concerned? What prevents?
Because all conditioning says that is the thing you are to live for. That is the purpose of life. Happiness, to be happy, realized, enlightened, or whatever you call, blah blah blah.
No.
So,
The ultimate
otherwise,
yes, the ultimate thing is
in the absence of all these forces making me think about this, I would not have bothered.
The ultimate thing is not to want anything.
Not to want anything.
Not to want anything, not even happiness.
Right.
That is the ultimate.
But is it not right? This is the definition of happiness by most of the people.
Therefore,
Not wanting anything.
yes, that's the hook. But until you reach that stage, you will still be looking for happiness. Until you reach that stage, and I would say it's possible even to reach that stage. It's possible. You have the pink. You have the
Oh, yeah.
Read the thing
To
aloud.
be
on the back of it.
comfortable in life, to have minimum
The final.
suffering, to accept what happens, all this is only merely a mechanism to be comfortable, not really happy in the sense, which is again a temporary thing, right? You said,
Read that, please. Douglas, will you read it aloud?
Oh Lord, give me a state of mind.
The ultimate prayer.
The
isn't
final
it?
prayer.
The final prayer.
Final prayer. Oh Lord, give me a state of
Slower,
mind.
slower and
Oh, sorry.
louder.
Okay. Oh Lord, give me a state of mind so filled with your being that I would not need anything from anybody anymore, not even from you.
Not even from you, which is not even happiness from you. That is the ultimate state. That ultimate state is only when the body is there. That ultimate state is only when the body is there, and no longer Durganandjj, Ramesh or Douglas.
You're in the ocean.
so question, $1 million question, how to attain that state? Is it possible?
So wait a minute. What is that state? That state is when there is no Durganandjj wanting anything. That state is where Durganandjj, the one who wants something, is just not there. The identified consciousness as a separate entity, the ego, is just not there.
But is that possible as long as I am living?
No.
So then it is a
That-
meaningless pursuit.
That is
While
what
I
is
am
a
living.
meaningless pursuit.
While I am living.
Therefore, the only meaningful pursuit is happiness in this life. The only meaningful pursuit is happiness in this life. Afterwards, who cares? That's my whole point. Therefore, my whole
Even though that happiness is again illusory.
it is based on your personal. Therefore, that happiness is not anything certified as pleasure. Pleasure is certified according, but this happiness has nothing to do with the pleasure. That is the first important thing.
I had a dream, and in part of my dream there was an incredible amount of detail, and I thought, oh wow, so you can, so in my sleep dream, I thought in my sleep dream there is a lot of detail, just as